When I first introduced you to move blocks, we looked at 3 different ways to control the duration of movement on your move block. We said that you could move the motors a fixed number of seconds, a fixed number of degrees, or a fixed number of rotations. For many tasks, that's all you need to do. But suppose I tell you I want to write a program in which the robot drives forward while playing a tune at the same time. Now we're kind of stuck. Let me show you what I mean. Let's grab a move steering block. And remember, really in this course, we never use either the medium motor, the large motor block, or the move tank. We're just going to do move steering. So there's our move steering block. And why don't we have it on for degrees, and maybe we'll go 180 degrees. And then let's put a sound block here, and let's play a note. Why don't we play, I don't know, what do we got here? C4. And C4 actually I think is middle C. And we're going to play that for half a second. So 0.5 seconds. And then we will play another note. And let's play D4. By the way, if we go up to the help menu and say show context help, it tells us about note, and I think in here, there you go, example, C4 is middle C on a standard piano. Okay, so we'll do D4 there, and then maybe we will play another note. Let's play E4, and oh, I want D4 to be for half a second, and then E4. So all 3 of them are for half a second. But this code that we just wrote won't move and play the music at the same time, right? Let's trace it. We start with the move block, and we stay there until the wheels have moved 180 degrees. Then the wheels stop moving. We've moved, but we didn't play anything. It's only when we go on to the next 3 blocks that we play the musical notes. But while we're playing the notes, the robot isn't moving. And then we're done with the program. Putting the move block after the sound blocks also won't do what we want. We want the sound to play while the robot is moving. In this program, we begin by playing our notes, but the robot isn't moving. It's only after we finish our notes that the motors start to move. They turn for 180 degrees, and then we're done. But we want a way for our motors to move while we play the tune. Fortunately, in addition to being able to control our motors for a fixed number of degrees, rotations, or seconds, we have 2 more options labeled on and off. I like to think of the on and off options as kind of like one of those giant Frankenstein switches. Technically, they're called knife switches that you swing to the left or right to turn the power to some heavy equipment on or off. When you select on, you are telling the EV3 to turn on its motors and to leave the motors on until another motor block tells you to do something different, or until the program finishes and the system cleans up. In addition, the EV3 should continue on to the next block in its program right away. If you want to tell the motors to stop later, you select the off option. That tells the EV3 to turn off those motors, hit the brakes, and then continue on to the next block in the program. Okay, so now we have the tools we need to write a program that moves while it plays notes. So let's take our move steering block, and instead of having on for degrees, let's say turn on those motors. So we start the motors running. Then we will play the 3 notes, and now we need another move steering block, and we're just going to drop that in at the end. And now we're going to say, after you're done playing all three notes, turn off the motors. Let's download it and try it. Okay. Let's trace our new program. Our program begins with this move steering block with the on option selected. So we start our motors rotating and then we're ready to move on to the next block. Our motors are still rotating as we play the first note, and they continue to rotate as we play the second note and the third note. When we're done playing the music, we get to this move steering block with off selected. So we turn off all the motors and our robot stops moving. And then we clean up. Which brings us to an interesting point. Remember, I keep saying that the EV3 cleans up when it's finished running a program. And one of the things that the EV3 does when it cleans up is turn off the motors. So in fact, in this program, you could have chosen to leave off that last block, and the robot would have behaved almost the same way as with the last block. The only difference would be that when we use a move block with off, in addition to turning off the power to the motors, we can tell the EV3 to apply the brakes by setting the brake at end to true so that the robot stops instantly. If we delete that move block, we always go straight to the cleanup phase, and so the EV3 never applies the brakes, and so the robot coasts to a stop. The following is a tricky question. Suppose I write the program shown here. It only has one block, a move block, and that block has duration set to on. When I run this program, what do you think is going to happen? You may want to pause this video for a second to think about it. Well, let's see. We start by turning on the power to the EV3's motors, and then we immediately go on to the next block, at which point we start to clean up, which means we immediately turn off the power to the EV3's motors. Here's what that program looks like when we run it. Okay, let's give it a shot. Absolutely nothing. Setting your move duration to on is good for more than just singing while you move. We'll see more examples in later lessons.